Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is one of the most anticipated superhero films of this year. I went to go see it with my friends last Saturday, and what can I say? I love it to some degree. It wasn't the best, and it wasn't the worst. It just falls in between. This was one of the movies I was excited to see since I saw the trailers and read the articles about it, but I did had my fears for this movie since this film has been given mixed to negative reviews from critics and fans alike. I will say that this movie is not as terrible as many say it is. Now, the movie has its ups and downs, which I'll get to later. First, I want to cover is the plot of the movie. The plot revolves around Bruce Wayne, who is still fighting crime as Batman, but confronting his inner demons after experiencing the losses of people he cared about during the fight between Superman and Zod in Metropolis. Bruce has developed a hate towards Superman and views him as a threat and can't be trusted. Meanwhile, with Clark Kent, aka Superman, is still trying to become a better person after the events of Man of Steel. However, many people have different views about him due to his actions with a bunch of politics going around here and there. Later in the film, Superman and Batman are at odds with each other because Superman doesn't like how Batman handles justice in Gotham and thinks he is above the law. Superman wants Batman to hang up his cape and cowl, while Batman tries to find a way to get rid of Superman. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor has developed an evil scheme to make the two heroes fight to the death. Once Batman and Superman realize that they were being played, the two heroes decide to join forces with Wonder Woman, who appears later in the film to stop Lex Luthor's evil plan, who has created and unleashed Doomsday, and thus the trio have a big fight at the end. Now, the casting for this film was alright. First off, I would like to talk about Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. As a big Batman fan, I must say that Ben has really delivered an awesome Batman. This Batman is almost everything I wanted to see in the movie. Dark, gritty, mysterious, and just plain out badass. I really say I freaking love Ben as Batman. He got the look right, especially the portrayal. To me, Batman is the one that almost steals the show in this movie. I actually felt for his character and understood as to why he hates Superman. Ben has proved everyone into thinking that he wouldn't make a great Batman wrong, and I do plan to cosplay as the Batfleck someday. I just love the suit since it's not all black this time, but there is a downside to his character. He actually kills in the movie, which is something Batman would never do since it is his moral code not to kill. Moving on, Henry Cavill comes back as Clark Kent slash Superman, and he is just fine as the Man of Steel. And unlike in the previous films, it shows more of Superman's human side when he's being judged by other people, especially in the media, having different opinions on him and how far he's willing to go to in order to protect people. I really felt connected with his character because he is a being with these amazing gifts who just wants to do good in the world despite what other thinks of him. Henry did a good job as Superman, and I really can't say anything bad about him. Amy Adams comes back as Lois Lane, which she does a good job, but I felt her character just keeps going back and forth with her doing something or being the damsel in distress throughout the film. Gal Gadot is fantastic as Wonder Woman, but her appearance in the movie is brief, but makes it up at the end as she joins Batman and Superman in fighting Doomsday. I remember everyone clapping when Wonder Woman appeared ready to kick some ass. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor was the one I felt I didn't like the most. Don't get me wrong, Jesse Eisenberg is a good actor, but he just didn't cut it as Lex to me. His portrayal as Lex Luthor was at times too nerdy, twitchy, bratty, and quirky. He did an okay job, but I just couldn't picture him as Lex Luthor, since Lex is supposed to be a strict, arrogant, and serious character, like in the comics. Jeremy Irons does a fantastic performance as Alfred. Nuff said. As well as the cast from the previous film return in portraying their roles as well did an okay job as well. The visuals are fantastic, especially the fight scenes were really well choreographed and shot. My main issues with this film is its story and narrative. The title is called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, but it doesn't really focus too much on Batman and Superman being at odds with each other. Yes, they do fight later in the film for about 8 minutes, and that's about it. The fight between them is based on the iconic fight in the graphic novel The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, which is a fantastic novel to read. But really, this film was mainly to set up the Justice League movie, since there are cameos of the other members of the League. But the way they showed them was interesting, but done with lazy writing and felt forced. With an email. There are moments when the story goes way overboard with other plot lines, which just seems to drag out. I feel like the film's script just seems sloppy, with shoehorning everything going on. Plus the film editing just to go from one place to another when something happens. Doomsday, on the other hand, looked alright, despite what others think, but I feel his role in the film just seemed wasted, especially how he's presented in the film. Sure, the fight between him and the trio was amazing, which keeps me on the edge of my seat, but I felt that Doomsday should have been saved for a much later film. However, there is a death scene during the fight, but I will talk about it in my spoiler review discussion. Zack Snyder is the one who directed this movie, since he did direct Man of Steel, which I loved, despite the mixed feedback. Now, I have nothing against Zack. He is an okay director in my book. His movies look amazing, but has a hard time balancing story with amazing visuals. But I will say this, the action in the film is awesome. It's The Dark Knight Returns coming out of the pages. Overall, this was a pretty great, entertaining movie to watch. I watched it with a group of friends, and they all seemed to love it. Now, would I recommend this film? In some way, yes. If you're a comic book fan, or if you're a DC fan, check it out. If not, then this isn't the movie for you. I'm going to give Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice a 3 out of 5. And stay tuned for I will be doing a spoiler discussion with my friends who have seen this movie as we talk about what we liked and what we didn't like the film. That's it for my review, and please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe for more content.